Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Steve. This is the Phantom Show. First of all, I'm recording this at 11 o'clock at night, so I seem tired or out of it or what have you. That will be why. But I'm here, and I'm going to do my best. Sometimes I don't get to record these early in the evening or even during the day like I would like to, so I got to find time to do them when I can, and well, here we are. So my initial plan with this video was to make it kind of a holiday movie countdown or some such like that, but I just basically decided that I didn't want to do that. Not because I didn't think it'd be fun, but just because I thought, there's a dozen other YouTube channels out there that are doing that, so why do that? But in regards to holiday movies, of course, there's the holidays. Today is a week away from Christmas, and obviously there's a bunch of holiday movies around. And I've been watching some holiday movies recently. Some of my favorites are Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, Home Alone, Elf, The Santa Claus, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, Miracle on 34th Street, and so forth. There's a ton of good Christmas movies out there. Those are some of my favorites. And I still enjoy watching them, but I've noticed as I watch them now, because most of those movies are, 20 plus years old now. So when I watch them now, it's like, man, I still love these movies, but I can't help but look at them and think, it's not as easy to relate to them anymore because so much time has passed, and the world that you see in these movies is just so different from what we have today. Like, it's hard to watch Home Alone without wondering or thinking, if Kevin McAllister had a smartphone, his family could Venmo him some money for a plane ticket or something, like this movie would never have happened. Or back in Christmas Vacation, where the whole plot line about Clark getting his Christmas bonus and all that, it's like, well, that was great back then, but now Christmas bonuses aren't as big a thing as they used to be, and that the whole mentality of things has changed. Even watching something like the first Santa Claus movie, think about how this crazy Santa Claus guy would have been like all over Twitter and social media and the whole thing. It just sort of puts things in a different perspective. It's not these movies are bad, it's just they would play out a lot differently in today's world than they would back then. I mean, for example, in Home Alone, the first movie, there's a scene where the mother is trying to negotiate with a couple of people at an airport to get their plane ticket. Well, as everybody knows in the post 9/11 world, you can't do that anymore. There's no way that you could trade tickets with somebody easily at an airport to get on their flight. It doesn't happen. So it's fun to watch the movies. They're great movies, but watching them today in comparison to our modern world, it really makes you wonder about a lot of things. Of course, there's the endless debate of where did the dad in Home Alone get his money, but I'm not going to jump into that one right now. But yeah, I have a short list of a few movies that I watch every holiday, and sometimes I might expand it a little bit, watch things here and there, but I usually stick to my classics. That's just kind of how I am. I think that holidays, especially Christmas, is in a lot of ways about traditions, but I'm always open to checking out new holiday movies. I did like those two. I can't think of their names. Christmas something or other. Shoot, I feel bad. The Phantom Show guy, I can't remember the names of these movies. But the ones with Kurt Russell playing Santa Claus. Christmas Chronicles. There you go. I did remember it. Those were a lot of fun. And last night my wife and I watched a movie called Carry On, which is a Christmas thriller. It's sort of done in a Die Hard style where there's like a terrorist in an airport. A bunch of stuff's happening around Christmas time. Not new ground for Hollywood to tread, but it was a decent way to waste an hour and a half, Not, no regrets about watching that. And Jason Bateman as a villain always gets my vote. So, what else is going on in pop culture world? Well, we're getting a trailer tomorrow for the new James Gunn Superman movie. They released we're getting a teaser tomorrow. And today they released a preview, a very short preview, so we got a teaser of a teaser. It wasn't much, just a bunch of people looking up in the sky, obviously in reference to, look, it's a bird, it's a plane, oh, it's Superman. So that's where they're going with that. I think this movie has potential. James Gunn has a great track record, and I'm hoping he can deliver a solid Superman movie. Not that Henry Cavill was bad in any way, but I think James Gunn has some really good ideas with this one. I can't wait to see how it plays out. Star Wars Skeleton Crew, I have really been enjoying this one so far. Whoever thought it was a good idea to bring Jude Law into Star Wars, God bless you. This series has been a lot of fun to watch. Probably one of my favorite Star Wars series since Andor. And I'm very, very excited to see where it's going to go from here. But the first few episodes have been absolutely fantastic. Yellowstone wrapped up. Well, I was going to say wrapped up. I mean, it kind of wrapped up this week. So the big thing with Yellowstone is, of course, Kevin Costner left after the end of season 5, middle of season 5. Well, he left before the last episode, so they had to retweet the show. John Dutton died, and the last chain of episodes about dealing with his death, what was going to happen to Yellowstone. The series finale, basically a series finale, although it was advertised as a season finale, who knows why. Big debate among Yellowstone fans. But anyway, the season finale was, I'm not going to give away spoilers because I'm sure some of you watching haven't seen it yet, but it very much seemed like a series finale. Most things were wrapped up, and the rumor is that they're going to do a Beth and Rip spin-off show rather than just continuing Yellowstone, which, based on what happened in the finale, I think is the best move. Obviously, there are more shows coming in the Taylor Sheridan verse. 1923 season 2 is out soon, and he's got a bunch of projects that are being worked on. He's become kind of a contentious figure. Some people think he's very selfish and egotistical. Some people think that he's a little, I don't even know what the word is, but basically, so the thing about Taylor Sheridan, first of all, just fun fact, is his real legal name is actually Sheridan Taylor, but he uses Taylor Sheridan for a professional name. But he, what am I trying to say here? He writes all of his own episodes. So every one of his shows, he basically, he writes virtually all the scripts. And most shows have a writer's room where it's a group of writers that are writing scripts, but for Taylor Sheridan, it's usually just him. And that has the benefits of, it's just him, he can write whatever he wants, do it his way. But the drawback is you don't have other people to bounce ideas off of, to get different perspectives of, and, just, it's always better to have a few other people on your writing to polish things off, and, or polish things up, make it really good, etc., etc. So most great TV shows benefit from a writer's room, and there's been a bit of a back and forth between Taylor Sheridan and WGA, because the WGA thinks, hey, you should have a writer's room for your show. Taylor Sheridan doesn't want to do it, so we'll see where that goes. But despite the fact that he's a bit of a contentious figure, he's made a ton of money doing what he does, so, I mean, hey, you can't really fault the guy, right? On a more personal note, I just booked a couple tickets to the New Orleans Fan Expo next month. It's a big Comic-Con in New Orleans, about an hour and a half from me. I'm very excited because I'll be getting to meet Michael J. Fox, whom I absolutely adore, and the legendary William Shatner. I was going to go to a Comic-Con a few years ago to meet William Shatner, and I wanted to do it because he's getting up there in age, and I didn't know how many more chances I would get. Well, unfortunately, plans got screwed up, didn't get a chance to go. Well, as it so happens, William Shatner is still alive and here with us at, gosh, I think he's 93 or 94 now, and he will be at the New Orleans Fan Expo, so I'll finally get my dream of meeting William Shatner, which will be really, really cool. There'll be a bunch of big names at the show. I'm very, very excited. It'll be a whole lot of fun. Also next year, obviously, I believe the final season of Stranger Things drops, which is very much looking forward to. Another note, I did see Gladiator 2 with a friend this past weekend. I thought it was pretty good. Not quite as good as the original, but pretty darn good for a sequel to a movie 20 or so years on. On that note, I also watched Twisters a while back, and I thought it was okay. I mean, it didn't really, no pun intended, blow me away or anything, but I wish there had been more connections to the original. I just didn't feel it has as much heart as the original movie. Not that Twister had a whole ton of heart. It was primarily an action movie. But I thought there were a few things in the original movie that this remake, reboot, whatever you want to call it, was lacking. Also, where was I going with that? Sequels 20 years on. We have Twisters, and then I talked about Gladiator 2. There was something else I was going to mention. Some other big... Oh! Well, it wasn't 20 years on, but there was another sequel that I wanted to mention. Joker Folie à Deux, the sequel to the hugely successful Joker movie, is now streaming. Obviously, it had a very polarizing response in theaters, and it's kind of a musical, so if you don't like singing, you may want to skip that one, but if you're curious about it, you can certainly check it out, no additional cost, if you subscribe to the streaming service. I believe it's on Max, don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure it's Max. So if that is something that interests you, you can certainly check it out. As I mentioned earlier, Christmas is next week. I'm sure I'll have a few cool things coming off my Christmas that I'll have to share with you guys, which should be a ton of fun. But beyond that, that's all I got for tonight. I know that wasn't a perfectly smooth video, but like I said, I'm recording this past 11 p.m., so I think all things considered, I pulled off a pretty good job. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you again real soon.